Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to the Bullhucker Podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Adam Vokey.
And today's returning champion guest is Genevieve. We saw Jen on the last episode. She gave us 3 great stories. And this is the episode where we pick. We try and find the Bullhucker, which one is not true. Now, you've already given us the fact that the one that is not true is a borrowed story.
Yes.
So when we do the reveal, we're going to let you tell us whose story that is, because you know,
and knowing that is what's making it hard for me.
Right, because it's a true story to somebody.
Right, and so...
Yeah, it's somebody's story.
All right. So before we get started, though, as I always do, please make sure you find us on social media. Hopefully you try to guess last week after we released that episode to see which one you thought of Jen Neb's stories was the Bullhucker, the lie, the fib, the BS, and hopefully you got it right. We're about to find out. So as we always do, we're going to do the paper, rock, scissors. I like to say I am actually 1-0 right now if we just don't count the first 4 episodes. So ready, man?
Ooh. Oh, got it.
Oh, Dynasty. I feel it coming on for me.
Okay, Brady, settle down.
It's crazy because I'm like watching the video like really slow, like, is that him doing something to me? Because he's like kicking my ass at this, right? You weren't. You were like a billionth of a second later than me, and I'm like, yeah, I can't really call him out on that one. So
I have an earpiece.
All right. Do you ever watch Friends?
No.
How Joey always picks the same one that Chandler always beats him. That's why I start to feel like Joey. Like I picked the same damn one. So what are the 3 stories? The names, Adam?
There was the Trail Dust Ghost, the exact moment I realized I wasn't gay, and Riptide with Baby Beluga.
Okay, so now we pick. So you're up first, thank God. So
I'm gonna go with the Trail Dust Ghost.
That's the one you're saying is fake?
Yep.
Okay.
Or a borrowed story. I was really aiming towards that one and leaning towards it. I think I'm gonna go with the exact moment I realized I wasn't gay. I think that is a borrowed story.
See, that was the other one that I was trying to pick between the 2.
Now, before you reveal this, I don't want to curse us. Nobody's got us both yet. I think you might have because you're smiling ear to ear. So nobody has got us both yet. So
this is my poker face.
So, okay, well, what is it, Jen? Which one's the...
So my borrowed story is absolutely the Trail Dust Ghost. Yep, and who I made to be my assistant was my friend Kathy DeVecchia, who I barely just met. I lost a good friend to breast cancer about a little over a year ago, and her husband has now met this beautiful new woman, Kathy.
Cool.
And I went...
What's up, Kathy?
Yes, hey, Kathy DeVecchia, thanks for letting me have your story. I love you. Mwah. And I told him how I was having troubles, and I was going over my stuff with him, and I said, I'm having troubles giving a fake one. And she goes, want to tell one of mine? I got stories. And I'm like, yeah. So she just hand-fed me this ghost story, and I'm like, this is perfect, because Matt was talking about the theater being haunted. That could be my segue.
Why did you pick it? Can I ask why you picked it?
Well, I knew... Because Jen and I have been Facebook friends for a long time.
If it hasn't been on Facebook, it didn't happen to me. Yeah.
So I remember you being in Hawaii. So I figured that was probably all legit. And then it was, I don't know, like I said, I was kind of juggling back and forth between the 2, and that was just the one that I...
Are you saying that you might have been the little boy in the bed in high school that we attacked when I got my nipple pinched?
I cannot confirm nor deny that.
I also didn't. The Hawaiian story. You've been traveling a lot. It looks like on Facebook, and there was just like a lot of details in that one that I thought, okay, that's probably.
Well, and plus then I went into the Molotov cocktail.
Right.
Crazy people.
Yeah, and why would you? Yeah. And I thought the Trail Dust Ghost was a real one too, just because I don't know. That just seemed legit. I don't know. But
I had to fact check to see when it closed, because I'm like, can I even lie about that? Like, how old would I have been when the Trail Dust Steakhouse closed? It closed in 2009.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, well past when I thought it was closed long before that.
And it looked like a big barn.
It did look like a giant barn.
Okay.
Yep, sure did. I just remember the slide. I remember going, our families would take us there, and we screw eating.
Right.
We're going to be on the slide for 2.5 hours while the parents are getting drunk.
Right. Like the Casa Bonita, but not the trashy part.
That's right. That's right.
I remember going there because I was in 4-H and FFA, and then I'd always show animals at the National Western, the stock show. And so we'd always go eat there while we were in town.
You bet. Great place to eat. It was a great place to eat. And good
Rocky
fun.
Mountain oysters. I remember my dad
I just had some today at the Mav. Have you guys had them there yet?
No.
They got wings and oysters at the Mav for an appetizer, and they're not bad.
Wings and dangly things.
Yep. Wings and nuts, 2 of my favorite things.
Actually, I think the best Rocky Mountain oysters in the area is a place actually called Bully's out in Fleming. You ever been?
No, it's beat out Bruce's, though, in Severance.
Ooh, no, maybe not.
See, I thought you were going to say Bruce's.
Is it sad that I don't know where Fleming is?
Fleming is outside of Sterling between Haxton. Yeah.
Isn't that awful that I've lived here my whole life and I don't know that?
Right. Well, no. I mean, we've been Budweiser guys. We've driven down that highway.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so.
I need a good distributing job.
Really?
Hence the zipper boob cocaine.
No, I mean, yeah, drug mule, Jen. I think that's a great.
Smuggling ring, which could be another great fake story.
Next time. Well, Jen, thank you so much for coming on. You were fun and you were tough. You were tough.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
This is maybe one of the toughest ones. Which one do you think so far has been the toughest? I think you're top 2.
Nice.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Finley's was tough.
I can't wait to hear Josh's. I saw it today when I went on the website today to get the link to post.
Right.
I was like, oh, Josh's is right there. I'll have to listen to that one.
Yeah, Finley's was tough. I got that. You got that one right.
Josh is hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, wait, did I get it right? No, you got it right.
I missed Andy and I missed Sean.
Yeah.
So out of 6, you've got your 4 and 2.
Yeah, I'm 2 and 4.
And you're 2 and 4.
Sucking hind leg. Yeah.
Too trusting.
But nobody has gotten us both.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm just waiting for someone to work. Yeah.
And when they
that'll be my challenge for my next one. Is I'm gonna have to find one that'll get you both.
Right.
See, and then when someone does get us both, there's gonna be 3 people on this side of the table. We're all gonna pick separate stories, and then we can say no one's got us.
Yeah.
There you go.
somebody will come home. Somebody will pop up. So, and if you're interested in trying the Bullhucker, we have a list of people we're going to have on. I'm pretty excited for the list of people that we've lined up for this.
I can't wait.
If you want to try this out, though, we'll get you on the list. Bullhucker Podcast at Gmail is the the email address. You can go and throw us an email at. And you can find that on the website, bullhucker.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. If you go on YouTube, please subscribe. If you go on Facebook, leave us a like. Let us know you're out there. Send us a message. Tell us what you think, man. And ratings and reviews. Please leave a rating and review. So, once again, Jen, thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you, guys.
I talked to Michelle Staley, and she said you were having trouble with the lie, too. That's what you guys were at a party or something talking about it. And so, okay.
It was rough.
Yeah, you
so
did well.
I need to listen to hers, too. I'll be excited. Everybody's. It's so much fun to hear everybody's.
Yeah, it'll be Wednesday. So, I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Adam Vokey.
Jen Nebb.
And I'm Jen Nebb.
See you guys later. Peace. Thank you. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Bullhucker Podcast. We just got done with the reveal of Jen Nebb. So, once again, Adam has prevailed and I have not. So, Adam's kicking my ass. He's like 4-2 and I'm 2-4. So, Adam can't be here tonight. So, with me, I have the awesome Matt Gordon.
Cheers. Thanks for having me, man. Big shoes to fill, big shirts to fill, but I'll do what I can.
You might recognize Matt from episode 1. He was the brave soul who jumped in without knowing what this was going to be, and it turned out pretty good. So
that's my repertoire, is jumping into things I don't understand and just winging it.
Sure, and I actually, and here's the thing is, I missed that one too. I'm actually the one who thought of this, the one who put this all together, and I am the worst one at it. Is that so? Before we go any further, I want to introduce my good friend Brett McRea from Ray, Colorado.
Thank you for having me here, bud.
You bet, buddy. Are we close enough there? Yeah, we're okay.
Brett McRea from Ray.
You thought that was funny.
I just wanted to point it out. It's great rhyming. I like rhyming. So
nothing. I never realized that until he said that. You were just Brett McRea. Well, you were just Brett. I didn't know.
I'm originally from Pete, so you know.
You ever heard of Pete's?
No. What?
The bustling metropolis of Pete's.
Pete's? Where is that?
It's north of Sterling, about 30 miles.
Yeah, it's
not 30
I've
miles.
driven through there probably, I guess. If it's
Town
on
of
76.
250 people.
Yeah, blink of an eye and
Yeah,
then you're
it's a
past
good
it kind
time.
of thing.
If
That's
you-
cool.
If you'd like to go to the metropolis of Sydney, Nebraska, Pete's is the gate of that. So
Oh.
the gateway to Sydney, right?
Yeah,
Is it?
correct.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
gateway to Sydney. Is that where the Cabela's headquarters is?
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
I have been there. I sold a guy a VW Beetle who worked at the headquarters and worked on boats.
Really?
Yeah.
I had never been in Nebraska in my life before I started dating Patty, and she's like, "You never been to Cabela's?" I'm like, "No." So it's actually a pretty cool little place. So
Yeah.
not little at all, but yeah, it's
It's like
Yeah.
their Mall of America, just a lot more
It's-
camo.
Well, that was the first. That was yeah, that was the very first store that they built. That was their flagship store.
right.
Oh, that's cool.
So Brett comes to us from Ray, Colorado. Brett's actually the manager of the local grocery store there,
Great.
Ray Supers.
Yeah, no, Ray Market.
Ray Market. How
Brett
did I not know that?
McRea from Ray at Ray Market.
Yeah, that's it.
Ray.
We get it, Ray.
I can't believe I didn't know that Brett McRea from Ray thing.
Yeah.
That's like a Larry Daryl thing. Is what that
No,
is.
right?
You know, Bob Hope
Yeah.
stuff.
That's
Say that.
hilarious.
Say that fast 5 times, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. So, like I said, Adam couldn't be here today. He's out of town, so we're lucky enough to have Matt come in. He's awesome about that.
Thanks.
You two actually have something in common. You're both guitar guys.
Right.
Yeah, noodle around a little bit. I think.
You're actually good.
Well, you haven't heard me play, so you have no idea. For all you know,
Well,
I
if you
could
say
suck.
if you say that you're a studio musician in California, yeah, dude, you know how to play something.
I did okay. I think anybody could play.
Did you make money at it?
No, that's why I'm here in Brush.
That's right.
I
Okay,
used
well
to-
then maybe you're not. That
I used to
good.
teach guitar too, and I guaranteed by the end of the lesson that you'd be able to play a song. Every single, from little kids to adults, you teach them "Smoke on the Water," and they play it right away, and they fall in love.
I've never
Exactly.
See, now that's the thing, though. That's so overplayed. I can't learn. I didn't learn how to play it.
You skipped it?
I skipped it.
Oh man, you
I
missed
skipped
out.
it. Nope.
What's your first song you learned?
Yeah,
Highway to Hell.
That's an excellent one.
that's the first one you learned.
Yep.
Man, I was like, I probably would have played around with some 4-chord bangers, and then you could try to Highway to Hell.
You know, I went. Highway to Hell.
That's great.
There's a video I'd put on Facebook. I saw. You saw it with the 2,000 musicians playing Highway to Hell. Did you see that?
No, what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's on Facebook. It's I'll tag you in it. It's in like a stadium. It's got 2,000 musicians playing Highway to Hell.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is
man.
amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
With like drummers and stuff too.
Everything, Matt.
Yeah.
It's cool because they have all the drummers lined up and they're just insane.
They're just all jamming.
And then they play like Bohemian Rhapsody. They play all these songs. They even play some like pop stuff. But yeah, it's the coolest thing ever. I mean, it makes you happy to watch it, you know. But that's the first song was da da da.
Yeah.
So
I would have loved that. It's like way more badass marching band or something like that.
it was amazing, dude. And it had some guitars. Some guys are just, you know what I mean, into it. And some guys just were into it.
That's great.
So it was really cool, man.
And it's like anymore when I play, I just sit and just try and figure stuff out, just try and get my dexterity on my fingers and
Sure.
just do different stuff. I don't sit down and learn how to play stuff anymore. I mean, I'm beyond that. I just like, I'll learn how to play a cool riff and then that's about it.
Yeah,
It just bores me.
but you enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
I don't know
guitars-
where I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have a guitar.
Right.
You know,
right,
I mean, before it's like, I can't do this, and now it's like, man, dude, I need another one.
Right.
You know,
How
so
many you got, buddy?
I just gave one to my sister, so I've got 11.
11? Jeez, I didn't even own that many guitars.
I made you own.
Dude, I'm an addict, dude.
7 was the most I've had. I still have 7
when
now.
you go to a guitar store and you see something cool, it's like, man, yeah, I can't skip it.
See, the transition for me was I'm a multi-instrumentalist as well. And so, like, if I just put all my money into guitars, I couldn't play bass and I couldn't play drums and I couldn't play piano and synths. And I'm also an audio engineer. And so, like, you got to invest in the plugins and the software and all that
Right.
kind of stuff.
Right.
And the periphery tools like this cool stuff that we get to record with. And
Yeah.
it's like, I'd be broke if I only bought guitars. I mean, I'm broke anyway because I bought all the other stuff. But
I bought an electric guitar once, and it's sitting in my closet still.
Great.
I pulled it out once.
What kind is it?
A blue.
He doesn't know anything about them.
it hurts
I
like a
have-
first act from Walmart.
Yeah. Well, no, it was from a buddy, Chris. God, Chris. I'll think of your name.
Chris
I love
Christopherson?
you. I love you, Chris. Yeah, I bought it and I looked at it and I had this aspirations for around 48 hours, and I'm gonna learn how to play this thing when I was doing all the comedy stuff, and,
Yeah.
and I thought it'd work out. And it's still in my closet. So along with my mom's old wooden guitar from when she had that same aspiration 20 years earlier, somehow I inherited that. She doesn't want me to throw it away, but she doesn't want it either. There's the well, I don't want it. I don't want it in my house, but it's sentimental, so please keep it. I'm like, well,
Please.
yeah. So Larry's storage strikes again.
There it is. That's hilarious.
So, how long you been playing for? Did you say?
Since I was 32.
Okay.
20 years.
And Matt?
I mean, I'm only 30 now, so I guess you beat me on that one. I've been
plucking around on it for 20 years.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not. When we talk to Andy Rice, right? That guy can play the guitar.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like in a band and does all that
Yeah.
stuff. I'm not like that.
I tried to give away Purple Coffin, by the way, in the last episode.
Did you?
To Sean Kelly, yeah. Their band needed a name. I said, I know Purple Coffin's not being used.
It's definitely not being used.
His band.
You could have it. You could have it. Yeah. I've been playing guitar since I was 19. In my first band, I originally played. Oh, jeez. Here I'm talking about these guys. I played in a 7-piece metal band in high school called Thunderdome. We were actually, I thought we were pretty good. We played a lot of great shows around Denver and around Colorado, but I was the keyboard player in this metal band. So you can imagine I was incredibly needed, so there was no way we could play our songs without us. The only reason I got into guitar was I needed to fill in on bass for one of our shows. So it's like that's how much the keys were needed, was that we could stop all the keys parts and just put me on bass.
Well, I always joked with Jeff. I bought Jeff a guitar for his 50th birthday.
Okay.
And, of course, he's left-handed, so I've got an acoustic guitar.
Sweet.
And I said, we're going to start a band. We need to get a band going. And so that's when I started putting those names on Facebook, like Spastic Colon and Black Mold and, the Mouth Breathers. And, we're going to rename the band.
The McRea Rays.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is, McRea Rays.
And so McDonald's sues you because they make a McRea Ray,
Is Mick a trademarked thing with McDonald's?
I
Like
think
you
it's
can't
just
put Mick in front of anything?
No, I think it's just closely associated, though. They might, I don't know, they're McDonald's.
I mean, really lean into the branding, though, is go red and yellow and just say, like, bring it on, McDonald's. You get the publicity from the lawsuit anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Like McDowell's, right?
McDowell's, what's that?
Yeah, that was on Coming to America.
Yeah, right.
Guys.
You've seen Coming to America?
You're lost.
When I was like 11. Come on.
Well, it should have stuck with you. It's an
We're
amazing
showing
movie.
our age now, bud.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, guys.
So the main character, Eddie Murphy, dates.
Eddie Murphy.
He works at a place called McDowell's.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I'm back.
Okay.
That came out in the 80s. I wasn't even a thought yet.
Yes,
So
yes, I hate you so much.
But we grew up in the 80s. So,
Yes.
and it's like
that was the time.
I
I heard it was really good. Thanks for leaving it for us in the 90s and
I should
2000s.
probably change my stories.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Larry's like, great. The whole podcast is ruined.
Yeah. Burn it down. One thing I did forget to mention: we are here at the Sands Theater. Thank you, Brush Chamber of Commerce, for letting us record in here. It's been really cool to have it in here.
I got the tour.
Yeah, the vaudeville dressing rooms, and you get a little creeped out back there.
Dude, it's a little spooky. It's a little spooky, and I won't lie about that.
I told him if you have to go, he's staying with me while I break down. That's what's that. Because
I won't leave you in here by yourself.
During the day, I don't mind it, but like when I come in, but at night it's creepy. Do you come in here at night by yourself?
I have a couple times. I like walking. I mean, this is gonna make me sound like I'm a vampire on the hunt, but
you don't believe in ghosts,
right? I'm not afraid of any of that, so I'll walk around in the dark, and it doesn't bother me at all. Nothing. In fact, I told you this on the last podcast. Was I like provoking things, and so I'll talk trash to the things around me to see if something will happen, and it never does.
That's Matt Gordon, by the way. That's Matt Gordon.
Yeah, not me.
Me and Brett McRea totally believe in you. Don't want a problem with you.
Let's take 2 steps to the left.
Yes. I don't. It doesn't stress me out. I like just sit in the, especially like when I would volunteer for the theater, get here a little bit early and just kind of sit in the auditorium by myself, let the quiet hit on, see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have to have me back.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because I got stories.
Well,
but
let's see how these 3 stories go first.
Right.
Let's not
that's cool.
commit to Well, we do have 3 stories. As you know, if you are new to the podcast, we have a guest come on, Brett McRea, this time. He's going to tell us 3 stories. 3 stories of his life, or 3 stories of his favorite stories to tell. And the kicker is only 2 of these stories are true. One story is the Bullhucker. It's a fib. It's a lie. It's not real. I will ask this. The story that is not real, is it borrowed, Brett, or did you totally make it up?
I totally made it up.
Okay, so it's a complete fiction. That's even more
Why
fun.
do you start asking that? When did that start? You didn't ask me that.
Here's what's sad is we're like episode 5 and Matt just knows, so he's not watching the podcast. That hurts me.
Well, no. When did you start it though? Legitimately.
I think I asked.
Was in the second one?
No, probably the 3rd. I don't remember now.
Just curious.
Yeah, so
I can't remember. I don't memorize everything you say in the podcast anyway, Larry.
that hurts me even more.
Oh my
So-
God! Here we go.
Okay, so what we do, since not Adam and I are going to do this.
Not Adam.
Oh, see, that's what you get. You hurt my feelings.
All right,
there.
fair enough. What's this podcast called again? The Matt Hucker Podcast.
The
All right,
Bullhucker
here
Podcast. All right, we're going to paper, rock, scissors.
we go.
to see who
Whoa,
gets to pick first.
whoa. Before we do, are you on 3 or on shoot guy?
We're going to go boom, boom, and then there.
On 3. So 1, 2, go.
Yeah.
Okay, because some people do shoot. I'm just saying that's a thing.
What
all
does
right.
you shoot?
So you go 1, 2, 3, shoot.
It's on 3, bud.
See,
Yeah.
why do you think I'm double checking? Because I've
See,
had it.
we're old school, see.
Your
So
generation
Yeah.
makes everything worse. Honest
My
to God.
generation-
Your generation ruins shit.
I mean, all I got to say is who raised us. All right, it's not our fault.
I just met you. Not my fault. Don't blame me.
Tell me what. Yeah, when you're ready, tell me when to go.
Okay, right.
This.
God, not Adam. Adam, I'm starting to miss you already.
Yeah, sorry, this
really
is-
kicks my ass.
Dude,
this
did you
time.
ever play sports?
Yeah, I was a terrible lacrosse player.
Oh, my
He did it. It was his
Sorry.
fault. All right.
damn it.
So I get to pick.
That's all right.
I would love to hear the story. Family fun at the pasture.
Okay, so I have to do a little setup for this one, right?
Awesome.
So, my father, he was a horse trader, right? I mean, he was an actual cowboy and did lots of stuff, right? Knew all kinds of people. He was a farmer, and so somehow he borrowed, bought, whatever, 150 pounds of granulated cyanide. So they're 50-pound containers and they're made out of metal.
Okay.
They've been around for a while, right? So we decide that we're going to go down and poison prairie dogs at the pasture. So you know how much I hate prairie dogs, right? I go out and shoot them all that. Anyway.
If you watch Brett McRea on Facebook, you'll see him slaughtering them by the dozens.
I don't ever show that.
Well, but he's
I
got,
scare them a lot.
he's got a high-powered rifle and some not-so-kind words for them. So,
Anyway,
I love you.
you're right.
Okay.
So it's probably a Saturday morning. I'm not real positive on this. It's during the summertime. Dad usually only had Saturdays off because he worked at the meat packing plant, and that's usually when we had time to do it. And whenever we did stuff like this, it was 100 degrees outside. So he has called my brother Brian, my sister Lori, and it's going to be Mom and Dad, right? So my brother at the time is a Hare Krishna. You know what a Hare Krishna is?
I don't. I was just about to ask what
So
that is.
he is a Hindu monk, basically, and lives in Denver.
Sweet.
And so now, when you talk about, Hare Krishnas, everything, all animals, deserve to live and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So during the day, Brian has to chant, right? Have you ever seen a Hare Krishna?
So, yeah, you've seen them. They're in the airport. They give you the flowers.
Flowers, flyers, you've never seen them.
I've never had an interaction.
Orange
like
robe,
that.
stunning.
Have you?
No, it's crazy because I've been to Tokyo, I've been to Japan, I've been to South
and
Korea.
so-
I've never seen those people there.
Okay.
Have you seen the movie Airplane?
Have I seen the movie Airplane? Yeah, I don't remember it like you guys remember it.
And if Brian sees this, I love my brother. This is cool.
Okay.
So during the day, he has to chant on his beads. He's got beads in a pouch, right? And he's got to do rounds on these beads, and he's got to chant, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare, all this crap, right? And he's got one of those little silver counter things, like you count people when you go into concerts.
Right.
Yeah.
So as we're getting ready to poison the prairie dogs, Brian's out there chanting over them because he doesn't want to have any parts to do with it. Hare Krishna, Krishna, click. Hare Krishna, that, you hear this for hours, right, while we're doing this. So when the whole process, there's protocol on everything, right? So you take a scoop of cyanide, you throw it in the hole, you spray it with water, and then you cover it up.
Does it have like a scent, or how does it work? Does it just
Nope, cyanide it's granulated, right? So it's like got a coating. It looks like gunpowder.
okay?
So when you get it wet, that's when it's activated.
Oh.
So there's 3 containers of this. And Mom's not real happy about the whole situation because, this is dangerous stuff. This is poisonous.
Right.
So we're out there, we're doing this for 2 hours. And it's getting hot. And, we're sweating all over the place, and being around cyanide's probably not a good idea.
Okay.
So we get to this hole, and it's a bigger hole than normal. You're looking at it, it's like, is that a coyote hole, or is that something else? That's not a prairie dog hole, and it looks pretty fresh. Mom goes walking over there, and there's a badger that comes out of the hole.
Wow.
And badgers are mean, right?
Oh,
We're screwing with their program, right? The badger comes out of the hole. Mom takes off with the shovel. She drops the shovel, gets in the truck. We all hop in the back of the vehicle.
Right.
So Dad's whole thought is, I'm going to take the .22 and I'm going to shoot this badger, right? Of course, my mother, you never got to meet my mom, but she's like, Chuck McRea, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of us doing. This is stupid. Where somebody's going to get hurt. Blah, 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 blah. Let's stop. Okay. So Dad's thinking, well, it's just a badger. Mom got her way. So we take these 3 containers of cyanide, and we take them and we put them in. We have an old house on our land. No door, no windows, it's old.
Okay.
So we take the cyanide and we put it in there, and we are going to do it another day. So that day never comes, right? We never go back down there to do this. We have somebody come down and poison them and all that. Anyway, skip forward 13 years. My father's sick. He's in the nursing home, and my mom is thinking about, well, we should really do something with that cyanide. And I said, okay, well, what are we going to do? She's like, well, there's where Kimball, Nebraska is, right?
Yep.
So Kimball, Nebraska is right outside of Sydney.
I'm glad you answered that, because I was just about to say, nope. I had no idea.
So it's right outside of Sydney, like 20 or 25 miles, right?
Right.
So there is a turn in your chemicals deal, right? It's like you can bring your stuff in, and they'll take it from you at the elevator.
But what year is this, by the way?
This is 1997.
Okay.
Right? So we go back down to the pasture, and these containers are a little bit rusty. You know how, like, eggshelly, this is kind of a bad idea.
Yeah.
So I go ahead, and Mom brings her little Cavalier down there, and so we load them up in the trunk of her car. So she's taking them from Peets, Colorado to Sydney to Kimball, which is, 36, 40 miles, whatever it is, right? So she gets there, and the guy comes out and says, hey, how you doing? And my mom looks at him, so I'm good. And he says, so what can I help you with? And she's like, I've got some cyanide in the trunk. And he went, like the little old lady's got cyanide in the trunk. And she's like, well, yeah. And so she gets out, and that's, you have to open it with a key. So she gets out, and she opens it up, and the guy's like, oh, my. He's like, come with me.
It's a problem.
This is a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So they go inside there. He calls some guys to come out, hey, man, we got to deal with this. These guys come out in like hazmat suits with the blue drums, 3 blue drums, and they're lifting them up like this and putting them into these containers. He said, the guy told my mom after they got them all loaded up, he said, if that would have gotten wet, or if you would have had an accident, you could have killed half the county.
Holy cow.
So, that's the whole cyanide thing Dad got a hold of. We should have just paid for it, because, in the long run, that was really super dangerous.
Right.
Right? So, that's my story about my family fun at the thing. So
how'd your dad get a hold of that much cyanide?
Thank you so much for asking that question.
So,
how in the world do you buy that much cyanide?
So when you, let's see, he's a wheat farmer, right? Dryland wheat farmer. Knows everybody in town. We used to go to Pete's. We used to store our wheat in the elevator in Lorenzo.
Okay.
And so he knew somebody in Lorenzo, and he got it from there.
Wow.
From like a random person in Lorenzo, or at like a store?
At the elevator.
Oh, okay.
At the elevator.
So I'm just like some guy in the corner.
They have to poison. They have to keep weevils and all that crap out of there.
Right.
Rats, bugs, whatever.
Right.
And so that's what they used to use.
Wow. I'm ignorant to all this. When I worked for Budweiser, there was a guy named Keith. There was a farmer who mixed his own chemicals. He had a license to make weed killer, like industrial strength weed killer. So we would trade him cases of beer for some of the stuff just for around the lot, man. And I'm not kidding. This stuff looked like Ghostbusters green goo shit. Like, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, they were
there's stuff to be had. If you know the right people, you can get what, I mean, it's not nothing weird, but I mean, you know, if you need weed killer.
We spread it on once.
You know a guy is what we found out. Is if ever I need to buy a lot of cyanide, I can finally hit up my guy.
This is gonna. I don't want this to end up on
FBI's
security. Agent 5. Watch the Bullhucker Podcast.
That's having that much stuff right now probably would be illegal.
That's why I was asking what year it was before 9/11, before everything started getting locked down.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
You talk about a lot of farmers doing stuff. I mean, you know, dumping diesel fuel in the ditch or whatever.
Well, this Keith guy had a lot of stuff, man, to mix whatever. So what do you think so far?
I mean, it's hard to say because imagining pre 9/11, I was pretty young in '97, so it's like I don't remember what it was like. And what the stores and all their shelves had full of cyanide at the time.
Well, but before 9/11, I mean.
So we actually did this when I was a sophomore in high school. So these things have been around for a while.
Right, sure.
Interesting.
No, 9/11 shut down a lot of stuff. I mean, after 9/11, a lot of things changed. It was. Wild, so.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. That's one story down. Family fun at the pasture. I liked it. That's a good story. Next, I want to hear. Let's do best applicant ever.
Okay. So. I worked at Walmart for 22 years, right? And I worked in plenty of stores, different stores.
I'm sorry.
It's not that bad.
I'll leave it at that.
Yes, there he is. Just in case you ever need to fall back.
Well, I'll never, never ever.
He'll never have to go back. He knows where by cyanide. He can get out of there.
Ain't that the truth?
So anyway, I'm an assistant manager in Goodland, Kansas. And my co-manager is Ray Vermillion. Ray Vermillion is my bud. If he sees this, he's going to remember this story.
What's up, Ray?
Yeah,
Ray's
a good guy.
Okay, hold up. He buys cyanide and he hangs out with people named Mr. Vermillion. I mean, are you a supervillain? What is happening?
I thought you were going to say Ray McRea from Ray.
Oh,
that's where I thought you were going.
Okay. So anyway, I'm the assistant manager over the front end. Like I have to hire for cashiers and all that stuff, right?
And Ray's the store manager. Sorry.
Ray's the co-manager.
Okay.
So. We go through applications, and you know the process of hiring people and firing people, right?
Sure.
So anyway, I get this application, and it happens to be my invoice clerk's sister-in-law, right? So I bring her in, and she's a substitute teacher. She's a nice lady, and I bring her in. She's wearing a nice little sweater vest. She's wearing a skirt. She's wearing flats. You know, kind of cute. Anyway. Bring her in, and there's a process, you know, there's protocol that you have to do, right? Okay. So you've been through the whole process, right?
Couple times, yeah.
Right. So you go through and you have to ask them a whole bunch of questions. You got to do all this stuff, right? And you write them all down, and then you decide whether or not they're, you know, fit to work there. And so at the end, you have to take that personality test, right?
I don't remember
it's a green sheet. It's an Orion test, right?
Oh, okay. I'm back.
You're back.
I remember that.
So it's like 50 questions long.
Like what's on this test? Like what's?
It's like, you know, would you steal something? If you found $1 on the ground, what would you do?
If you bought a lot of cyanide, what would you do with it?
That stuff. those type of questions, right? Kind of like an integrity thing, right? You don't want to hire, you know, somebody that can't pass this test.
Right.
Definitely.
Who's not smart enough to put no.
So what'd you steal from the company? Well.
Exactly. And I don't have to grade this thing. You put it into the computer, and the computer actually decides whether or not this person is fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get through the interview. This lady's, she's hireable like right now. I don't even have to do the test.
Nice.
Right? And so I hand her the Orion, and I say, okay, this is what I want you to do. I said, I want you to go through here, and I want you to take about 20 minutes. Take your time. Just go ahead and you know, fill this out, and then bring it back over to me in the management office, and I'll put it in the computer, and you can wait in layaway while I do this, because it takes time, man. It's a process. And so, you know where the CBO computers were, right? You had your computer
HR, typically.
Yep. So HR office. And so she's sitting over there by the computers, and he had those really hard chairs, you know, kind of padded, not really, though.
They don't want you to sit there too long.
Exactly.
Finish that CBL, get back on the floor.
Exactly. See, he's on it. So I go over into the other office, and Ray's doing his paperwork and working on schedules or whatever. And I said, man, dude, I think I got a good one here. I said, she's got all of her teeth. She's smart. She's a teacher. You're laughing because
I hired people at Walmart.
Nothing. That's just how it is. Anyway, you want to make sure they're presentable.
Sure.
She's got it. So it takes about 20 minutes. And Holly, our UPC clerk, we used to have UPC clerks and invoice clerks, right?
Yep.
So Holly comes down the hallway and she says, hey, can I make a copy of this real quick in the office because I had the door shut. The girl comes out and hands me her Orion test and says, okay, I'm just going to go to layaway. I said, okay. So she goes to layaway. We walk into the office and there's a stench. And it's not good. And Holly's a Christian lady, right? She doesn't swear, nothing. She goes to church every Sunday. She's got kids. She walks in and she says, pew, something smells like poop. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, it does. It smells like poop.
Right.
And so we're starting to sniff around and look around and go over to where that girl has been sitting. And she has crapped the chair. Now, you talk about protocol, right? You and I both know about this protocol stuff, right? So it's like bloodborne pathogens.
Exactly.
Life stops because there's a problem.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you poop yourself on the Orion test?
No, it's not that
you
bad
really
of a
shouldn't.
test. It's not that bad of a test.
All right.
So anyway, now I've got a problem. I mean, I can't bring that girl back into the office because you can't have her sitting on stuff, right? So I need help. I go over to my co-manager in the office and I said, Ray, Bud, I said, dude, I need some help. And he's busy. He doesn't want me bothering him. He's like, what? And I said, the girl crapped the chair. And he says, what? I said, man, dude, she shit her pants. And the office chairs that we have are on rollers. He rolls back and he starts laughing. He's not helping me. Right. And I'm like,
sounds like a co-manager.
Right? And so I'm like, dude, I've really got a problem. I need some help. And he can't breathe. He's laughing so hard.
That's great.
So now I have to figure out what I'm going to do.
Right.
So I got to think fast. Okay, well, I'll figure it out. And so I walk out to the layaway area. They have the bench sitting there. She's sitting on the bench. And I walked out there, and I was behind the layaway counter. And I said, okay, look. I said, the computer system's not working today. I said, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and try and put it in tonight. I'll call you with the results. We can finish the interview and stuff tomorrow. And she's like, okay, that's fine. So she splits.
Was she acting at all weird, or
she was sitting kind of funny on the chair?
Wait, you didn't approach her about?
Nope.
You didn't walk up and be like, "Excuse me, miss, did you poop all over the chair in the HR office?"
Dude, there's protocol. You can't do that. You can't ask people stuff like that.
Man, we've had a drive-by shitting. We'd like to know who you were.
So anyway, I go back into the office to talk to Ray about it. He has his glasses off and he's got tears running down his face. And I said, dude, that's not funny. He's cackling. He says, you made her shit her pants. I'm like, that's a problem.
Amazing.
So you have to, PPE, your loss prevention, right? Personal protection equipment, you got to make sure you sanitize
Put your
everything.
Aprons, get your gloves, get your face shields.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have to take this thing outside instead of just throwing the chair in the trash, right? I mean, God forbid we would do something like that.
We
get
got to
a new
save
one.
that chair. You don't understand.
Yeah, it's Walmart.
We got a budget.
Yeah, no joke. So you got to glove up and get that thing all cleaned off and all that, right?
Right.
I did this. I go into the personnel office after everything's all said and done, and I said, well, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. And so I go ahead and I put the Orion into the system, and she gets like in the top percentile of the questions, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay, why not, man? Maybe she's sick. Maybe she's got the flu or whatever.
IBS.
Something. So I waited until the next morning, and I called her. No answer. And I never saw her again.
Really?
Never. I mean, not even a chance to say, hey, man, you want to come back and work for us?
Yeah.
I mean, poor lady was probably so embarrassed she wouldn't come back.
About what age, do you mind me asking?
She was probably 26 or 27.
She was in her 20s.
That doesn't sound like an accident. That sounds like a hit.
Dude, I don't know.
Like someone pissed her off in HR, and she's like, I can't wait to get back at these guys. I know what I'll do. I'll poop on the chair.
Or in all honesty, maybe she didn't realize how bad it was. Like, we've all kind of shart ourselves a little bit. And then there's times.
And then
like,
there's an issue.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's much worse than I thought it was going to be. So maybe she got home and realized, oh, these weren't brown when I left.
No,
oh, man.
I put in a fecal Jackson Pollock and left it on the chair for the HR person to deal with.
I mean, that's the worst thing ever. It's horrible. I mean, I had to do it in the back of a Budweiser truck one time, and that was not.
That is such a great story, dude.
If I'm around the Bullhucker, I'll tell that story. Have I told you that story?
Yes, you have. That story is incredible.
It's not. I mean, when the urge comes and you're sweating,
you got to do what you got to do.
I mean, you'd murder someone rather than shit your pants some days. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's not bad. Like,
yeah,
dude, you're driving down the road. Oh yeah,
90% of people, the most religious they get is praying to God that they don't shit their pants. You know what I mean? Like, you take atheists that become believers when they got to go. Like, oh please, I don't know if you're real, but if you are, please don't make this happen.
There's no atheist in a bathroom stall. Is that what it is?
That's great.
Oh man. What?
Oh God!
We're making that bumper sticker.
There's no atheists in a bathroom stall. Oh man, you took me back. I can't tell you how many poop stories I had to deal with as an AP and LP guy with Walmart.
God.
But my favorite one is super quick. You mind if I jump in? Oh, this is great. So this was actually in Castle Rock, Colorado. You would assume would be a nicer area where you don't think these things would happen. But are you familiar with people who are called scatters?
It depends. Yeah, I think
not
so.
Like
yeah, I know.
Not like that, but like apparently there was a homeless woman who would use the facilities and grab it out with her hands and smear it all over the walls and stalls. I made $13.95 an hour, and so the first thing I did was I called the cops. I was like, I'm not dealing with this literal crap. Yeah. I just remember the face of the police officer when I explained the situation to him, and I've never seen someone have such loathing for me as a human being when I was like, hey, look, there's a woman who has pooped essentially all over the entire bathroom, and I'm really terrified to interact with her, so I wanted to go in behind you and see what's going on. Well, he walks in, puts on his black gloves, and, there's no doors on the bathrooms at Walmart. It's just that little zigzaggy thing. We walk in, and she's butt naked, like washing in the sink. And he looks at me and he goes, I hate you so much. I hate you so much. And I was like, good luck, bud. And so he has to drag her out. Oh. And as you can imagine, she fights back and is just like his whole body is covered from like head to toe in her crap.
This is why we don't defund the police, people. This is why we need them, because otherwise you got to
deal with that. I'll never forget that. Oh, I wish I could.
In Pueblo, I worked at that nightclub. This isn't even close to that story. It's just something that was kind of fun for us. There was a big concrete ditch behind the club, and old Papa Jack, rest in peace, Papa Jack. Papa Jack was great. Vietnam veteran, had some issues, but one of the greatest guys ever. We called him Papa Jack, and Papa Jack would hump anything. He didn't care. And he was happy to do it the whole time. Papa loves you. And so I don't know how he discovered this was happening, but the concrete ditch would go into like an irrigation tube, right? And there was a homeless guy living in there, homeless somebody living in there, but they wouldn't go in there. They'd walk out and shit in the actual ditch, right?
That's great.
So he would tell me, Larry, go see if the midnight shitter struck again. And it was like... It was like a bet we had every day. Like, yep, midnight shitter. That's struck again.
The midnight shitter.
Yeah, dude,
that's great.
And then it just went away, so we got a little sad. We had a beer back there for him and said, well, hopefully he's not dead.
We finally took some Tums. And
Well, what do you think about that story, Matt?
See, it's hard for me to say because I have a lot of bias with Walmart. And so, like, there's a lot of corroborated things that he's saying. Right. I don't remember calling it an Orion, but we never did paper tests. We did computer tests. And so I would just go take the personality test or something like that, and they'd sit down and deal with it on the computer. So the paper bit threw me for a loop. But if you were a manager in 97 or whenever that was.
You're assistant manager.
Well, it was in 97? I was 7. So I obviously was not working.
I started in 1988.
I wasn't even born yet. So that's, that perspective there. So I don't know if they did paper back in the day. But I'm on the fence on that one.
I'm going to give you this, Brad. We haven't heard the third story yet, but I don't know which one I'd pick if I had to pick one of those two.
Right?
You're doing good.
Yes.
I'm going to give a shout out. No offense to the guys at the table. But so far, the hardest one I've done yet is Josh Finley. Did you watch the Josh Finley episode? Have you seen it?
I did not see it. Don't hate me.
No, I won't. It's just like this. Like, I'm like, God, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I think Adam got lucky. He guessed it, but that's here nor there. So we got one more story.
Great.
2 great ones so far. So Black Friday 2009.
Good year.
So Black Friday's the worst day ever, man. I tell you, you hated it. I hated it. It was stupid. I went through 21 of them.
Ugh.
So, it just turns people into idiots, and it just drives me crazy. I mean, it was the worst day. So it used to be back, when I first became a store manager in 2005, you could, we worked in a Division I store, right? And so it had groceries in it, but it wasn't a super center.
Yep.
So it was closed until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So you could walk outside, and there's a line of people. I mean, it's cold, man. There's a line of people to the street, through the parking lot. Thousands of people. And so I'd always walk out there and say there's no biting, no fighting, no kicking, no screaming, no being a jerk, no taking stuff out of people's carts, right? Just because of the fact that people were stupid.
You had to babysit them.
Right. So we moved to a super center. It's 157,000 square feet. And this was after that guy got trampled. Do you remember that guy getting trampled in
Michigan, right?
Michigan or New Jersey, I don't remember. Anyway, the guy had a heart attack, and they stomped him, right, coming into the store.
Right.
Anyway, so at that point in time, life changed for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Protocol changed. You had to go through and you had to set up the barriers. And, you started doing this stuff in, like, April. You had to have a computer program that told you where to put the stanchions and where to put all the stuff and, whether you were a big store, depending on what type of volume you had, where you were going to put things. And then you had a map that came out on the internet so people could actually look at it. So that way there wasn't anybody running around being a jerk.
Right.
Well, it still happened, but anyway.
Right.
So, at Walmart, there's always codes for stuff. There's code white, there's code black, there's, code Adam, there's all this stuff. And so I had a meeting on that Wednesday previous to the Black Friday with my management staff about, because everybody's got radios. So if there's trouble, what are we going to do? Is it code 100? Is it code 500? What is it if there's something wrong going on, right? And so, some stores did code 10 or whatever. So
could you guys pick your own codes?
Yeah, well, just for that day.
There were standardized codes that Walmart sent out. You actually could, if you ever see somebody's name tag, they have them on the back of the name tag.
Right. Code brown was bomb or something.
Yeah.
Code blue was bomb.
Code Adam was lost kid.
I know that one.
Yeah.
So anyway, we came up with our own little code if there's any trouble anywhere. Code 500 to, produce or wherever. And that way everybody could go because we didn't have security.
Right.
So I always invited the police. I always did. And said, hey, look, man, can you guys show up at 5 o'clock in the morning just in case? Because I was friends with them. I'm friends with a lot of cops in Ray. And I just do that just because, hey, man, you might want to help us out because people get stupid. And so the chief of police says, yeah, well, maybe. Because they really didn't have anybody on shift that, they just don't.
Right.
Don't have extra people. And besides that, they don't want to get up. So during my little meeting, my loss prevention guy's name's Matt, right? He's skinny. He's 5'11". He's probably 140 pounds. He's not very big, right? So, and, loss prevention guys, you live for the adrenaline dump, right? You love it. It's that, ooh, yeah. And then you catch somebody and then they shake, right? You used to shake, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
It felt good.
It
felt
the bad
good.
Guys, right? So you know what I'm talking about.
I'm Matt Gordon and I am the law.
Yeah.
So
how dare you steal that Diet Pepsi?
So with the whole protocol thing, right? There's certain things you can and can't do to people when they come in the store. You can't tackle them. You're not. This is a big deal.
Right.
So Matt's, got his name tag on. He's got a tie. He's not the plainclothes guy this time because he's actually stationed over there by jewelry. So we've got everybody in place, and I stayed up in produce where nobody was at, because it's just easier so I don't get, killed.
Right.
And I said, okay, 5 o'clock comes around, everybody take the plastic off. So take the plastic off, and it's just mayhem for the first hour.
Sure.
We did $115,000 or $120,000 the first hour.
Wow.
And dude, we were basically, they'd call me a 7-Eleven. We were a small, low-volume store, and we were 157,000 square feet.
How big is this town?
5,000 people.
Okay.
It's Montevideo. And so, in the first hour, everything is gone, right? Like the computers are gone, the good TVs are gone,
Sure.
and you don't usually get very many.
Right.
And so, usually you have like the $10 toasters left over. And if you're going to buy a $10 toaster, you're getting a $10 toaster. It's not like unlike a KitchenAid toaster,
Right.
So anyway. So it's about 6:15 and we're going through, checking, things out. We have checklists and stuff that you got to go through and check off, right? It's like, okay, how much of this do we have? Do we have any of this left over? All that. I went back and I checked the sales for the first hour.
Okay.
And so all of a sudden we hear code 500 to jewelry. Oh, crap. It's like everybody's got to go.
Right.
So we all go running over to jewelry. We're not running, but weaving through people to get to jewelry. And Matt is standing there, and there's this guy, and he's the big farmer-looking type guy, right? And I've had to deal with this guy before because he had bad checks.
Okay.
This was like 3 months previously.
Cool.
Anyway, he's at the jewelry counter, and that's where we had our laptop computers.
Okay.
And we only had like 10. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, you tell people, hey, we've only got 10 computers. You're wasting your time.
Right.
This guy wants a computer. This guy's been up all night drinking.
Awesome.
So and I'll tell you the reason why I know that when we get done. Anyway, so he wants a computer. Matt's saying, hey, sir, we don't have a computer here anymore. It's like they're all gone.
Right.
And so he's like, well, get out of my way. He did one of these things to Matt. Of course, Matt instantaneously grabs a hold of this guy's arm as I'm coming up to the jewelry counter. When you do stuff like that to any customer or anything like that, I have to fill out a report. I mean, this is going to be a big deal.
Right.
You remember the red books, right?
I do.
What are the red books?
Dude, it's a physical harassment, sexual harassment.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. It's a 46-page book.
We
don't
want to get sued book.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as Matt grabs a hold of this guy, I'm like, oh, God, my day has changed because now I'm going to have to interview people and do all this crap. And it's a big deal and it's miserable. So as Matt grabs a hold of him, this guy's big and he starts doing this with Matt, back and forth, back and forth. Matt's not going to let go. And as soon as we get around the counter, I'm like, how are we going to take this guy down? I mean, what are we going to do? I told Jamie, I said, call 911. So she gets on her phone to call 911. And the mosh pit, at a concert?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
When somebody starts fighting?
Sure.
It goes whoosh. That's exactly what happened to jewelry when this guy starts swinging Matt around. People are backing up saying, oh, my God.
Oh, they don't start scrapping or anything.
No,
Okay.
no, not yet.
Okay.
So Matt's got a hold of he's got to hold this guy's arm. He's trying to get him off like a booger, doing one of these. We're getting around the counter just in time to we're figuring out, it's like, man, how are we going to do this? And we hear, Frank, knock it off. And he stops. The chief of police is standing there in a pair of sweatpants and a coat. And he had to have been dealing with him the day before for domestic violence during Thanksgiving. That's how I know that he'd been drinking all night.
Oh.
So Matt, of course, he's got this guy, and he's thinking that he's doing a great thing. But in actual thought, I said, man, Matt, knock it off. Get over here. So he, lets go of him, brings him over. I said, dude, now I have to fill out a red book. And he's like, well, dude, that's collateral damage, man. I was going to get this guy to the ground. And I'm like,
that's the kind of LP you want, man.
You're right. It's like, but I'm like, dude, there's not 10 of you that could do that today.
Right.
I mean, the guy's blasted, and he wanted a computer. So anyway, Adam Christopher was the guy's was the chief of police's name. Anyway, he came over and said, Frank, you can't be out here doing shit like this. It's like, you need to come with me. So took him out, put him in the car, And he says, do you want to press charges against him? And Matt's like, man, I want to press assault charges. You can't do that, of course, at Walmart. They won't allow you to do so.
Really?
Well, if you want to keep your job.
If you want to keep your job.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, get him in the car, and he did get public intoxication, but we didn't really press any charges against him as far as that goes.
Right.
But I mean, it was one of those instantaneous, oh my God, what the hell's going to happen?
Right.
So that was the whole pinnacle of the day. And so I did have to go back, and I called my human resources guy, and I said, look, this is what happened. Do I have to fill out this report? He says, go ahead and fill out the first 10 pages. Go ahead and get a couple of, it's by chapter. It's like you go through the first person that says it. I said, do you want to fill out a report? No, I don't. I mean, I had me, Matt, and Jamie, my other assistant, do it.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, red books are no fun at all. None, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
And Walmart's like the king of that kind of stuff, right? Like Walmart's the king of not getting sued. How many times do you think they've been sued over the years?
Thousands of times.
Yeah.
People die at Walmart every year. You've seen the videos.
On Black Friday or just in general?
No, just in general.
Yeah.
Just in general. People get walking out in the parking lot, and people be driving by with forklifts with pallets and stuff on them, running right over the top of them.
No kidding.
Yeah, people. They had that one guy that had fishing augers. The ice augers.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those things fell off and hit him in the head, killed him. I mean,
Holy
people
cow.
die in Walmarts every day. And I mean, nothing.
I have so many Walmart stories. This is great to hear. It's great to hear that no matter what state, no matter what store you're at, it's just as crazy at all of the Walmarts
it's full
you go
blast.
to.
And it's Black Friday is like the hill people come out.
Oh, it's
I mean,
The hill people.
yeah, all the mouth breathing hill people show up. And I mean, nothing against anybody that goes and shops on Black Friday. I mean, but I lived it for 22 years. It was a miserable experience.
Although I think it's gotten better over the past couple of years because more online shopping has been taking place, I think. So to avoid stuff like that, because I was a Pepsi guy for years, so every Black Friday we had to work on Thanksgiving because, God forbid they...
Oh, God forbid
Yeah, but
somebody
day
run
off with
out
your
of
family,
Pepsi.
someone doesn't drink a Mountain Dew.
Oh, every day's a new crisis.
I don't get my Mountain Dew, boy.
But it was funny because I had to work that day because nobody buys pop on that day. It's all GM side.
Yeah.
general
Right.
merchandise.
Well, that's why you always hide in produce because nobody's buying food.
Right.
They've got leftovers. And that's when I was standing up there going, okay, take off the plastic. It's people are, you've seen the videos, people diving into DVD bins and just
Nuts.
loading up carts and
Nuts.
yeah.
I had a friend who called me because what they do in the Fort Morgan one was they would close off like the pop aisle, and that was the TV aisle now. They closed off the next conditioner aisle.
Yeah.
That was the whatever aisle, right? And they had a little balloon saying what the special sale was there. And I was in the pop aisle, and it was like the 55-inch TVs for $15, whatever it was. So, because it's such a great TV you're getting. And people are like, hey, bro. When they bring out TV, I'm like, hey, bro, I don't work here. I'm a fat guy who wants to go and get some turkey.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, but people were like ready to get nuts about it. You want to tell them, like, it's not that great a TV. If it's like you just said, the toasters, the same with the TV and laptops. You know what I mean? They're not getting a better deal.
You're not getting top of the line stuff.
You get what you pay for no matter what.
And we lost money every November because of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
they sold it for cost and it's just I can't shop there anymore. It gives me anxiety.
It's funny. That actually came back. It wasn't even Black Friday. The whole COVID thing with toilet paper. There was actually a fist fight in Fort Morgan over it.
Awesome.
Yeah, a couple guys just got it on in the middle of the aisle because of the toilet paper.
Right, and everybody's pissed off anyway, and it's like, oh man, no more toilet paper. What?
Oh, there was like one left. Man, these two guys were gonna, knock
Ready to
each
throw
other
down.
over. Yeah, it's silly, man, out of control. So, yeah, I mean, maybe that's why that chick.
I was going to
had the
say,
accident,
maybe it's not as silly as we think it is based on what we've talked about today. It's like, if I don't got toilet paper and I got to poop on a chair, I'm going to punch somebody in the face with that toilet paper.
Yeah. These are three great stories, Brett. I'll give you that. Do you have a clear-cut one in mind, Matt?
I do.
Do you? You're leaning towards one. Okay. All right. We'll talk about it here. We're going to wrap this up. God, man, I don't know. I kind of had one because I think I'm going to try. I think I know which one I'm going to pick, but I'm going to pick it on something you said, but I think you might have misspoke.
Ooh, a slip up.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a slip up or not, but all right. We're going to find out. So
find out.
we're going to wrap this up for this episode. I want to thank everybody for supporting this, watching this, checking this out. No matter where you're doing on YouTube, you find us on Facebook. We're on all the platforms now. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora, Amazon, wherever iTunes, wherever you get your podcast, you can find the Bullhucker Podcast on. If you get on one of those, please leave a subscribe for one, and leave a rating, review on or whatever that particular venue wants. So, Facebook, like our page. We're on Twitter. I'm struggling here. You know what I mean?
Where else are you on? We're on the community billboard.
Are we?
No, I just was tossing another one. I figured you're on everything else. I could throw out random words.
We are. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. So just check out for the Bullhucker
Friendster.
Podcast. Is Friendster still a thing?
No.
I want to get on MySpace. I actually looked it up. You can't do that anymore.
You can't?
Oh,
that's too bad. I'd miss doing the HTML for those websites. So that was like peak teenage years for me. So it was a lot of fun to make my MySpace, my top 8.
Such a nerd.
Yeah,
okay.
no, whatever.
But I want to thank you, Matt, for coming out and helping us out today.
Dude, thank you
so awesome to have
much.
you.
I had a blast.
Brett, thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
Thanks,
man.
Brett,
This has been fun.
You
know, and I had to whittle that down. Man, I've got stories upon stories of stuff.
I could listen to Walmart stories all day. They're great.
We're going to have you back. The next time you come back, we're going to have Adam here. That guy's like the human lie detector. I don't know what he does. Like, which scares me because I've been lying to that guy for years now. So apparently
he knows. He's known.
Shit. Yeah, he just tolerates me.
I noticed that the vein near his temple has been moving in a weird direction, and it clearly indicates that he's telling a lie. I've got this. RoboCop.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking us out. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Cool. See ya.